let us look at some questions. Now, we are in the topic of college placement exam. So this will be the review on arithmetics topic of the college placement exams. So I'm going to try to do as many questions without the calculator as possible. Of course, many of these questions can be easily done by plugging them into the calculator. But I'll try to, do this one without using them, and then in case, so therefore when you're not allowed to use calculator, you can try to solve them accordingly. So here comes the first question. So when we add up those three values, what is that equal to? Now, when you look at it, this is 2 point something, and everything is very, very small. So my answer will be somewhere here, which means I'm looking at choice B or C will be my answer without the calculator. Now then I realize the first two digits are the same except the last two. The last two is thousand digits, so which means 3 here, 8 here. I don't have anything, so that means I have 0. So when you add up 3 and 8, what do we get? We get 1, because 3 and 8 becomes 11. So we get 1 as the last digit, which will be choice B. That's how we can do first question. Let's look at the second one here. This is 7.86 times 4.7. So when you think about it, the values are rather similar here. So this is about 8. This is about 4. A little bit more than 4. But then when you multiply them together, so then we should get 30 something. So I'm looking at one of these two as my answers. So now, because only difference will be the 10th digit and 100th digit, so what we like to do is I actually have to do it, I guess, and then figure out the last two digits here, because both of them are 6. So I'm going to do 7.86 multiplied by 4.6. So 6 times 6 is what? 36. And then 6 times 8 becomes 48, so it becomes 1. And then becomes 5. So it becomes a 42. But wait a minute, this number is equal to 1. Because that's all I care. Well, I mean, I can continue 42, so 47. How about 4? 4 times 2. And 4 times 6 becomes 24. So that means 4, and then this becomes 2 goes up here. But wait a minute. The last digit will be equal to 6, and the second to last digit must be equal to 5. So therefore, choice A would have been the answer. You see, so you don't actually have to calculate everything. All you have to do is find the differences, and then see which number suits that value. Number 3, 7 over 20. How do you calculate the 7 over 20 without the calculator? You know what? If the denominator was 10 or 100, then it would have been much easier. Oh, you know what I can do? I can multiply top and bottom by 5. Why am I doing that? Then top becomes 35, bottom becomes 100. So what is 35 over 100? That's right, that would be equal to 0.35. Choice B would have been the answer. Which of the following is the least? Smallest. So when I look at the 10th digit, so 150. Oh, obviously that's the smallest. I don't even have to worry about the next one. So therefore, choice C becomes the answer. Not bad at all. Number 5. All of the following are always ways to write 25% of, and 25% of, and what does that mean? 25%, that means I can write down 25 over 100 or 0.25. One of these two. So 0.25, that works. 25 over 100, that works. But in fact, if you look at it, 1 over 4 is 0.25 anyway. So that works as well. The last one that doesn't work is 25n. 25, this in choice D doesn't include the concept of percent. That's why choice D would have been the correct answer. Now, number 6. Which of the following is closest to this one? So this, I realize that this one is slightly less than 28. And this one is slightly less than 10. So my answer should be slightly less than 280 when I multiply 28 and then 10. But only thing that's closest will be 280. That would be the closest one. Or I'm looking for something that will be less than that. So it would have been 280 becomes my answer. Choice A would have been the answer. Let's move on to the next one. A soccer team played 160 games and won 65% of the team. 65% of them. How many games did they win? Because they won 65%, so that means 65 over 100 times 160. Then you can see that 0 and 0 can cancel away. Oh, wait a minute. I can divide by 5, then I get 2. Then I get 13. And then I can divide here by 2, so I get 8. So my final answer is 8 times 13, which is equal to 104. Choice B becomes the answer. Alrighty, let's move on to number 8. There are 3 people who work full-time and to work together on a project, but their total time on the project is to be equivalent to that of only one person working full-time. Now, if one of the people is budgeted for half of his time to the project, and the second person was for 1/3 of her time, what part of the third worker time should be budgeted to this project? So one person is taking 1/2, the other person is 1/3. So then what we are doing is 1 minus 1/2 minus 1/3. Whatever remains, that becomes what we're looking for. Now, then in this case, I can make everything in denominator of 6. So we have 6 over 6 because that's the common denominator, minus 3 over 6 minus 2 over 6. Then we get 6 minus 3 becomes 3, minus 2 becomes 1 over 6. So 1/6 becomes my answer. Choice B. All right, let's look at the next question. Number 9. 32 is 40% of what number? So what are we going to do? 32 is means equal sign 40%. So I'm going to write down 0.4 of what number? X. So to find x, I have to divide by 0.4. Now the way which we can divide 32 divided by 0.4 is I can multiply top and bottom by 10, so that will be 320 over 4. Then this might be a bit easier for you to look at because I'm dividing it by an integer instead of a decimal. So 320 divided by 4 becomes 80. So we get choice C becomes the answer. All right, let's move on to number 10. So how about this one? In fact, one easiest way which we can do this, we can subtract 2, so we get, or you can make the improper fraction, if that's easier for you. Let's try to make the improper fraction. So we get 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, so we get 10 over 3. And then 2 times 5 becomes 10, so minus 12 over 5. But since their denominators are not the same, so I'm going to multiply, make the common denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 5. So we get 50 over 15. Here I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 3. So minus 36 over 15. Then we get 14 over 15, which is choice B. All right, with the one we're going to close up, and then tomorrow we're going to do second part of the arithmetic. See you later.